and to announce to the person, to the penitent, of God's mercy and forgiveness, and declaring that as they themselves pledge to disconnect their sins from their future. And that therefore, when we stay in the state of grace, it provides us a kind of spiritual armor. And that spiritual armor, we honestly oftentimes, especially in our Catholic tradition, we oftentimes just take for granted. And we have an arsenal at our disposal. We have the sacraments, we have sacramentals, we have the scriptures, we have the saints, we have devotions, we have all that. We have the authority of the church, we have the primacy of the Pope. All of those things are huge. When the Diocese of Orange, and this is no criticism to Reverend Robert Schuller, when the Diocese of Orange purchased the Crystal Cathedral a few years ago, and they just opened it now. When Robert Schuller's ministry was diminishing, Robert Schuller, I'm not suggesting he was anything but a good disciple of Jesus who meant well, but it was just Robert Schuller. When we're talking about the Roman Catholic Church, we're talking about papal authority, Petrine authority. And that Petrine authority is connected to every bishop in the world. And so that authority is what, in a sense, is part, not all, but part of the glue that keeps our church authoritative. It isn't, my church, and down the street you have another person who is their church. No, we have one church. And if you go to any country in the world, the Mass is celebrated in the same way, with the same faith and the same rites. Specs is a symbol. Yes, he does things of governance, but he's a symbol of unity. And that unity, in a sense, is what keeps our church grounded as one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. And the apostolic element is what allows me to stand up here as a mandated exorcist and share with you in a very legitimate way why I'm able to function in this ministry authentically. Because I have the authority of my own local bishop. And his authority is connected to a Petrine authority that's bigger than all of us, but it unites us. So a piece of the therapeutic beyond daily, weekly Mass, daily prayer, monthly confession, is then we also provide future meetings with the subject for potential deliverance, if that's what's required. Or we'll refer them to a therapist for if it turns out that what they seem to really have, we'll always get an evaluation as part of the discernment. And if it turns out listening to and everybody on the team, all the clinical psychologists, the psychiatrists, medical doctors, they're all practicing Catholics. Why? Because they have to come with the same optic that we are coming with as the church. Most therapists are not believers in God. Most are atheists or agnostics. Then in the aftercare, you try and connect them with a spiritual director. And if they're involved in a community, a parish community, you want to see, okay, what kind of support can you get at the parish level? And are there prayer teams that they can be part of that will also help the person in the stages of their recovery, so to speak? And so all of that is much bigger than the drama. And actually, in many respects, it's as important as the drama. Because the drama is simply Satan or the demons saying, you can't do anything, and we're in charge, and you can't have this person, and all those things that they say. But it's all about how to help restore the person in a healing kind of way so that they can be made whole again. And so what oftentimes happens, if the person has been involved in kinds of activities that they shouldn't be, it's also a great way to evangelize them. And oftentimes there's tremendous conversion experiences that take place, where we use at times pieces of the Unbound method, where it's a style of prayer that was developed by Neil Lozano a number of years ago, where we have the person in all the ties that may have been doorways to the demonic, we have them reject, renounce, and rebuke them. And in so doing, we sever the ties from their past and have them move forward. And in those moments of conversion, they realize that the path that they have been on is a path now that they need to get off of.